This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, coming to another edition of MLB Observations Week 5 of the 2021 season. So let's start off with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So they have had an issue of having a good center fielder, and they've given up on a few guys already that they got this offseason from other teams. So they've been playing Brian Reynolds in center field, and he's not a center fielder. And at the same time, they're playing Phillip Evans in left field or right field because they want to give him at-bats. But that's fine if you have Ke'Bryan Hayes healthy playing third base. If you're going to play Wilmer Defoe or Eric Gonzalez at third base, and you're going to throw Phillip Evans in the outfield or have him play second base just so you could move things around, no. And he's also not a number 2 hitter, nor a number 3 hitter. You want him lower in the lineup until he proves himself. And then, Eric Gonzalez, there's no need for him to ever bat third, fourth, fifth, sixth, wherever, okay? He is not a power hitter. He should never be batting in that spot. And the Pirates have an issue. You got to have given Fowler and Anthony Alford, and now you got Tom from the A's, who they got rid of the A's early season. Give those guys opportunities to play center field before you start throwing non-outfielders in the outfield and moving corner outfielders to the center field, because then you're just looking for disaster defensively. The Mets, with the injury to Brandon Nimmo, they've been playing Jeff McNeil the leadoff spots a few times. Pete Alonso's batted second, and Jeff McNeil has batted like third besides from leadoff. And I'm just like, you know, give Almora, maybe give Kevin Pillar the leadoff spot if Nimmo's injured. I don't want to see Pillar batting fourth or fifth. That is just stupid. You know, maybe if you start Luis Guillorme, you could bat him leadoff. And then the Mets had an opener, and I'm just like, don't you have Joey Lucchesi and Yakamoto? You got all these guys that you should be using instead of having to use an opener. Philly, Andrew McCutchen still batting leadoff. Rhys Hoskins still batting second. Matt Joyce batting leadoff when he took the place of McCutchen in the lineup. And again, I keep saying, just because you're taking his spot in the lineup does not mean you need to lead off. Brad Miller, I've seen him bat everywhere. And with a utility player, you can bat him anywhere in the lineup and play him anywhere. It's not the biggest deal. I don't like them having Odubel Herrera either last or seventh because it's kind of a waste when he should be the guy batting at the top of the lineup. That's what he did before. Don't want to see Didi Gregorius or Brad Miller, though, batting fourth because that's not really where they belong. At least one day Rhys Hoskins batted third, and that makes sense because without Bryce Harper in the lineup, you need a power guy like Rhys Hoskins. Marlins, stop betting Jesus Aguilar second. I was tired of the Dickerson and Marte 1 and 2, but now let's bet Jesus Aguilar second with Rojas batting leadoff, which is probably a good idea. Cooper in the outfield, stupid, because then you put Adam Duvall in center. Then I see Louis Brinson batting fifth, and I'm just like, the dude can't hit. So if a guy who's been reputedly known as a guy who can't hit, why is he batting fifth? Then I did see Isan Diaz and John Birdie one time batted 1 and 2, and I'm like, good. That makes sense. Them of an opener, they can do that, but I'd really rather say to Anthony Bass or Ross Deltweiler, can you start and go 4 or 5 innings, see what happens there. National, I don't want to see a lineup where Castro is batting fourth, cleanup, if the Yadiel Hernandez guy is batting third. It's just silly. And then Turner's on number 3 hitter, nor is Josh Harrison. We're talking about speedy guys, and in a perfect world for the Nationals, Josh Bell or Kyle Schwarber is your cleanup hitter because that's what they really are, sluggers. I did see one day where I really liked it, where Trey Turner and John Harrison were batting 1 and 2, and that's where I think they should be. Tigers, Robbie Grossman, not a leadoff hitter. Harold Castro with Nico Goodrum, not number 5 hitter, he's a utility player. Okay, Harold Castro, I've seen him playing left field, I'm just like, that's stupid. Then I see him playing first base, that's stupid. And the whole let's start Nico Goodrum at shortstop so we could take our everyday shortstop, Willie Castro, put him at second base, shift Jonathan Scope over to first base. This is stupid. Don't want to see Candelario batting second because that's not where he belongs. He's a power guy. Don't want to see Jacoby Jones batting last. He batted 7th once, and I'm just like, that's better than what it was before, but it's just not, really where he belongs. And I don't want to see both Norris and Fulmer in the bullpen, especially when the rotation isn't that great. The Yankees stopped seeing Diaz and Mayo lead off, and then instead of it being Aaron Judge, it's been Giancarlo Stanton batting second. Don't want to see Giovanni Urshela fourth or Rudan Odor third or fourth because none of those guys I fear in the lineup going, oh no, I fear Stanton, Judge, Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, Luke Voigt when he's healthy. I'm scared of those guys. And then, again, Diesel Mayo playing first and third base just so you could play Rudan Odor is just stupid. Cubs, don't get me started. Wilson Contreras, not a leadoff hitter. Chris Bryant, not a number 2 hitter. Tony Walter is your backup catcher, not a second baseman. Matt Duffy is a natural-born shortstop who plays third base, first base, and even second base. He's not a left fielder. Chris Bryant, he had to spend lots of 2019 in right field, which is one thing he was annoyed about. And I'm saying to myself, if Jock Peterson is healthy this week, he came back to the DL. You still got Ian Happ They still got Jake Marisnick, and you got Jason Hayward. I'd rather any of those guys play center field. I don't want to see Chris Bryant coming in late in a game to play center field or even starting a whole game in center field. Those are all the guys that do before. Then you got Emil Vargas, super utility guy from the Twins. He plays everywhere. Eric Sogard, I probably wouldn't want him in center field, but him and Matt Duffy, if they're in left field, then you don't want Chris Bryant in center field because you already have a bad outfield. I don't want to see Bryant in center field and those guys flanking him. That's stupid. Even David Bodie, another utility guy who doesn't really have a spot, you can play him in the outfield. Same thing with Nico Horner, who could play everywhere. And again, Chris Bryant playing first base is pretty stupid when you want to maybe put somebody else at first base when Rizzo doesn't play. Then the Reds, Jesse Winker and Nicky Castellanos are not a 1-2 punch. Those are sluggers. Suarez, not a shortstop anymore. He hasn't been a shortstop since the beginning of his season. His career. Nick Senzel batting 6th or 7th, followed by Jonathan India is like a waste. And Nick Senzel playing center field, he's not a center fielder. Playing second base once was nice. Now Kyle Farmer, he played second base. He played left field. I don't want to see a catcher doing that. And then one day Nick Senzel let off, and I'm like, that where you go. Then Blandino, the utility player, pitched. The Astros, Michael Brantley and Elzie Altuve are not a 1-2 punch. They're a 2-3 punch. That's really where you got Altuve second, Brantley third. The Rays, they've had Meadows and Margot being 1 and 2. Lau leading off, Lau batting 4th, batting 3rd. Lau is best suited number 2. Margot is more a leadoff guy. And Austin Meadows, maybe put bat him 3rd or 5th. Pizarro's not a second baseman, nor should he be batting second. Reigns Arena's not a cleanup hitter. Randy Arena, Austin Meadows, and Joey Wendell's on a 1-2-3. If you moved, Wendell ahead of Meadows, maybe, but Wendell's not a cleanup hitter either. Kevin Kiermaier is not a number 5 or number 3 hitter, and Margot is not a 3, 4, 5 hitter. Like, I don't know what they're doing there with these lineups. And then I see in the bullpen Michael Walker. They don't have enough pitchers to go around right now, so there's no need for them to be pitching out of the bullpen. I know they do openers and all the other stuff, but that's not needed there. Then the Braves, stupidly still got Acuna leading off and the Freddie Freeman batting second, which means Ozzie Albies batting 4th, then he got Swanson and Riley afterwards. Then I see Riley one day bat a cleanup, and I'm like, that's not the better spot for him. And then Adrianza, who's a backup utility infielder, is playing the outfield. That's just stupid, especially if he's batting 6th or 7th in the lineup. That's like a hole there. Then I see Sean Newcomb pitching out of the bullpen when they've had some injuries to rotation, and they're pitching people I never heard of. Then the Jays, George Springer and Simeon are not leadoff hitters, but sure, let's keep doing that. And I don't want Josh Hernandez batting cleanup because he's not the cleanup guy. Grichuk still playing center field despite George Springer being back, and they have Jonathan Davis in the team. And then they've had openers despite the fact that Tommy Malone and Tyler Chatwood are both starting pitchers by trade. They would, like, Tommy Malone has been mostly a starter, and Tyler Chatwood just was a starting pitcher last year. I know they got rid of Tanner Roark, but it's like, come on. Then I've seen Biggio play right field and first base, and I'm just like, if he bumped off second base, that's one thing for him to play third base, but come on. Then I see him batting leadoff, which is fine if you go him and Bichette, but I don't see Biggio batting 5th, 6th, or 7th. That's just stupid. That's a waste of his talent. And I don't want to see Joe Panic batting 7th and batting ahead of like Gurriel and other guys when Joe Panic is not a great hitter to begin with. If he was, he'd still be the Giants' everyday second baseman. And I also want to see him playing first base because he's a good defensive second baseman. Red Sox. Tired of seeing Hunter Renfroe 8th, Bobby Delback 9th. They're power guys. You don't bat them at the bottom of the lineup, especially if you have your catcher and your utility players batting ahead of them. Rafael Devers, not a number 2 hitter. That should only be for utility players or Alex Verdugo. So that's a weird thing. And I also don't want to see Vasquez playing second base on his shit. Do everything possible to make sure your catcher stays at first base or DH or maybe even left field. Maybe. Then the Rangers, Adolis Garcia before he had no career home runs. So batting 4th and 5th is stupid, but at least as Xander kind of left foot bat at 7th. But then they went back to him leading off, and he's not a leadoff hitter. He's still playing shortstop. He's not a shortstop. Willie Calhoun leading off is better than Xander Carvalho leading off, but I do like Nick Solak second. That's where he should stay. And Kobe Alpert out of the bullpen when they definitely need pitching help. The Royals. Guys, stop putting Carlos Santana second. The best guy to put second is Whit Merrifield or Nicky Lopez, or if you star Hanzo Alberto. That's really who should be batting second. But for now, Andrew Benintendi is perfect there. And then I don't want to see Irvin Santana pitch out of the bullpen or Bubik when they don't have enough starting pitchers to go around. And no need for Dozier to play the outfield, especially if it's utility guy Hanser Alberto. The Twins. I saw a day where Alex Kirilloff was playing first base, and they played Arraez in left field, and I'm just like, maybe move Donaldson to first base, or Polanco to first base, and keep Arraez in the infield and play Kirilloff, a natural born outfielder, in the outfield. That's an idea. I've seen Donaldson bat second. He's not a number 2 hitter. He's a power guy. Buxton's been batting second, third, fourth, fifth, leading off. Maybe 5th to 6th is where Buxton should stay. Polanco's not a cleanup hitter, keeping fifth or sixth or even second maybe. It's a stretch when I see Kyle Garlick in right field because they're playing another infielder in left field. Garlick is best suited to play left field if he can't play first base or DH. Kemper leading off, not a leadoff hitter. Miguel Sano, I don't want to see him batting 8, especially after Austin Dulos batting cleanup when you have a super utility guy batting ahead of a power hitter first baseman. And then Nick Gordon, I'm glad he got called up, but he's not a number 7 hitter. Indians, started seeing Chang at first base. If you don't want to play Jake Bauers every day, maybe play Josh Naylor first base to get him out of the outfield. Rosario batting 6th is kind of a weird spot for him because he's not a power hitter, and I'm still not sold on him as a center fielder. Cesar Hernandez, should not be leading off. That's not where he belongs. And Jake Bauers, the power slugger, all or nothing. He should not be batting second. And Harold Mearson, glad they called up an outfielder. So they have an actual enough outfielders in the team, but he's not a number 5 or 6 hitter. That's just stupid. Dodger. Chris Taylor leading off once. That's great. But then I see him batting for like 5th, 4th, and 3rd. I'm like, that's not where he belongs. Will Smith is not a cleanup hitter. Mookie Betts should not be leading off if they don't have enough offense in the middle lineup. Don't ever want to see Max Muncy second base because they got enough second basemen. Nor don't want to see Austin Barnes, the backup catcher, playing second base either. There's definitely enough guys to do that. Don't want to see BD and Rios in right field. It's one thing if you want to get their bat in the lineup playing in left field, but right field's a stretch. Unless you're like, oh, first base, it's on the same side as right field, so maybe they're more comfortable on that side of the infield. And then they just lost Dustin May, so you'd think that Jimmy Nelson or David Price would be in the rotation, but nope. I know David Price is injured, but again, that's something they should consider. Vogelbach, not a number 2 hitter, nor is Omar Navarez a number 3 hitter. Jackie Bradley Jr. is not a number 5 or 6 hitter. Lorenzo Cain is perfect leadoff guy, don't bat him second. And Tyrone Taylor is not a number 3 hitter. And Willie McKinney, with Yelich going back on the DL, should never be playing any innings at first base. You got enough guys. Rocky. Garrett Hampson, not a center fielder. Minor McMahon is not a second baseman, or is he a number 2 hitter. It's better when he's in the middle of the lineup with the likes of either Matt Adams or CJ Crone. I like Blackman batting 5th or 6th because that's more of his speed. And Cecine is in the bullpen when they need pitching. Again, you got Nick Heath from the Royals, and you got Tim LeCastro back off the disabled list. Why in the world is Pavin Smith still playing center field and leading off? Both those guys can do that. Van Meter, there's no point of playing him when you're almost pretty much strength. I'd rather Rojas get start second base instead of him starting all over in the outfield because he's not an outfielder. Nor is he a middle of the order yet because he's got to prove himself. And Kelly, that's a catcher, not a number 2 hitter. Escobar, not a cleanup hitter. And in one game they had a blowout, so both the Dribble Colbert and Matheson both pitched. That's interesting. And then I see Varsho playing right field. I'm just like, yeah. I think if you have Cole Calhoun, David Peralta, Nick Heath, Tim LeCastro, and you want to play Matheson or Pavin Smith in left field, then you don't want to play Dalton Varsho in the outfield, but he has a lot of innings in center field. So I'm more comfortable with him in center field than Pavin Smith, who's not even an outfielder. You know, he's a first baseman. Varsho is a very athletic catcher. Then Stephen Vogt is never batting at the bottom of the lineup. He's there for power. Oriole, please play Austin Hayes in right field with Santander injured. DJ Stewart's a big outfielder. He's not a right fielder. He's more of a DH, so left field's where he belongs. Stop wasting time with Pedro Severino batting in important spots 3 through 6 or 7 in the lineup. And Rio Ruiz not second baseman. Hey, stop having Marcano lead off, and if it's one thing, he plays left field. But don't stretch it to right field. If you have an opportunity, if Matt Olson doesn't play or Mitch Morrill doesn't play, DH Marcano, play him at first base. This Murphy guy, John Murphy's not a cleanup hitter, nor is he number 3 hitter, nor is Jed Lowry, nor is Laureano. Seth Brown's a backup outfielder. If you're going to play him at first base, play him in the outfield and play Cannon at first base. Should be Olson and Chapman and Mitch Moreland and Cannon. That should be the middle of the lineup there. Angel, still with the Ohtani batting second. I'm like, I've got an over you. Walsh, not a right fielder. Taylor Ward, who they just called up, not an outfielder. Both of them also not cleanup hitters. Iglesias, not number 5 hitter, nor Taylor Ward, number 2 hitter. Gosselin, not number 6 hitter. Albert Pujols played some third base this week, and then the Angels completely cut him. So I'm like, okay. If Anthony Rendon is injured, it should be Trout, Upton, move Ohtani to number 5. Okay? Then you can figure out how the rest of the lineup goes in terms of offense. But yeah, some of these guys are not 4 or 5 hitters. Mariners still the Ty France, Mitch Haniger, 1 and 2 combination. Haniger leading off, France second. That doesn't work. Still Kyle Lewis batting cleanup, not a cleanup hitter. I don't care if it's your catcher Murphy or Torrance. They're not cleanup or number 5 hitter. Deal more utility players, number 6 hitter. J.P. Crawford, I'm glad he's not batting last, but being 7th is kind of a waste for him. Ty France, not second baseman, but I know you don't have that much off second base. But you should play Sam Haggerty second base if you're going to actually play him instead of playing him in the outfield. Giants, if Dickerson's batting ahead of Longoria, that's stupid. Slater, we all have been over this many times. Not a leadoff hitter, not a natural born center fielder. Darren Ruff is not a number 2 hitter, nor is Brandon Belt. Norris, Buster Posey. And if you're doing that and you're going to bet Dickerson third out, Dickerson, that's just stupid. Padres, Fernando Tatis should not be leading off. Second's okay, but he's a power guy. Cronenworth is not a number 5 hitter, nor is he the guy that should play first base. If you're not going to play Eric Hosmer, you should play Will Myers at first base so you get him out of the outfield. And then Profar, not an outfielder, and they keep doing it. Jake Lamb started one game in left field and came off the bench in another game and played left field. I know that Luis Robert now is injured, but you have Yori Garcia, you have Billy Hamilton, you got Adam Eden, and you have the fact that Mercedes has career innings in the outfield, and now Vaughn has career innings in the outfield. Jake Lamb is on there to give Moncada or Brady the day off or DH, not to play the outfield. And Adam Eden, if you're not going to bat him second, batting him fifth is stupid. When you have, as I said, Jake Lamb, who's a slugger, Yasmani Grandal, who's a slugger, you're on Mercedes, who's a slugger, Andrew Vaughn is a power hitter. Those are guys that should be batting fifth, not him. Okay? Thanks for listening to another edition of MLB Observations Week 5 of the 2021 season. For On the Radar Entertainment Blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.